If you wish to donate, please go to nevadaveteransmemorial.org. And that's all for this installment of Spotlight on Sparks. We appreciate you watching. As for me, this is the final program that I'll be hosting. It's been a privilege and an honor serving the citizens of Sparks, and I appreciate you tuning in. From all of us at the City of Sparks, thank you.
Agendas. What's on the agenda today?
We don't have an agenda today.
Oh,
We're winging it.
Just
I thought he was like halfway in.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
and I trust Donna did
Could change
this.
it.
Call the Order Sparks City Council meeting of October the 9th, 2017, with a roll call, please.
Mayor Martini, absent. Council members Abbott,
Here.
Lawson,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Bybee,
Here.
Deere,
Here.
Acting Attorney Eiding,
Here.
City Manager Driscoll.
Here.
We have a quorum, thank you.
Okay, if you'll all rise for our invocation speaker, Mr. Dare would be that person today.
If you would please join me for a word of prayer. Lord, we come to you and we do thank you for today. Lord, we do lift up our state. We lift up Las Vegas. We lift up those down there whose families who are experiencing loss right now. Lord, we lift up those who are wounded. We thank you for our first responders, not just in Vegas, but Lord, even here and in Nevada and even around this country. Lord, thank you that as we want to run away from danger, they're running into it, and I pray you keep them safe. Lord, I do pray for just all the components of what this means to us, the fears that sometimes go through our hearts and minds. Lord, let us come to you and know that we are safe. Let our city be a place of safety for all of our people. Lord, I also do lift up our mayor to you, Lord, right now, and I pray, God, you continue to heal his body and get him back to us safely. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And before we go on, I'm going to ask if we just take a moment of silence to remember and to honor the people who lost their lives in Las Vegas. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dare. Mr. Cruz, will you lead us in the pledge? Thank you. Be seated. Thank you. Okay, I'm comment period. Anybody in the audience that wishes to speak, would you fill out a card, please, and turn it into the clerk? Our first speaker is anonymous. Come on down. Thank you. And you all have 3 minutes when you're speaking.
Thank you. I hope this is on. Washoe County District Court is 5 months into mandatory e-filing. This is the court that we survivors of domestic violence go to apply for protection orders for us and children. We are tracking child abuse cases in the Washoe County District Court, and already 4 child abuse cases have been dismissed because documents were not in the court case files. Clark County went to mandatory e-filing in 2014, and what happened is child abuse went up more than 200%. We anticipate the same thing for Washoe County. What happens is the court clerks have the discretion not to file court documents. So when the court case file goes to a judge, the judge will dismiss the case if the court clerks are not filing the documents. This is what a letter dated 2015 regarding the e-filing in Clark County. And Marshall Willick is a family law attorney in Las Vegas, and the e-filing became so corrupted that he wrote to the state bar. Remember, all courts have attorneys working for them, and so he was asking for cooperation from the state bar. The state bar, however, gave him no cooperation. As you've heard me testify before, in the Sparks case, Sparks has become the poster child for courts throughout the state. The courts in Las Vegas and Carson City constantly refer to the Sparks v. Sparks case. The decision in the Sparks v. Sparks case from the Supreme Court is significant. The Nevada Supreme Court states that they reversed the decision of the district court order preventing the city from taking certain actions with regard to the municipal court's budget. That's significant to you because you all approved the budget. And as you've heard many, many times, testimony about Heidi Shaw destroying domestic violence court case files illegally. I don't know how much time I have, but because Attorney Eider is here, this is a meeting of the Administration of Justice Commission of the Nevada Legislature, and Julie Butler, who Attorney Eider has a letter from her about the significant problems with the state of Nevada, filing a data list of all the domestically violent men throughout the state who are beating their wives and their children. And she says that she can only have a database as good as what's reported to her. And Attorney Eider has the letter of just how corrupt the database is at the state level. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kathleen Schupp. Come on down, Kathleen. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, City Council. I'm here again to speak about the Wild Creek Golf Course, and I feel that the citizens of the Washoe County are in jeopardy of being ripped off. Yes, there's infrastructure in place for a school to be built there, but it was paid for by the people who live here. The entire golf course was paid for through our taxes and should not be allowed to be snatched away after all that work and money was invested in there. I'm wondering if you have asked other persons how they feel about the school. I have been to a few social functions, and the people that bring it up are very much against a school being built on the golf course property. And I would like to see you try to ascertain the feelings of the taxpayers in this county, and not just go with what one person says, that he wants that property for a school. Our schools can be built, and we really need the schools to be built. And I feel that more time should be put into looking at the Sun Valley properties. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen. Next is Kim Sinitsky. Come on down, Kim. And your sidekick there, Lisa.
No, she's the important one.
She's the important one?
No. I'll write her a check later.
Welcome.
We're both going to do the 3 minutes, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Kim Szynski, and I'm representing 39 North Downtown, and we wanted to give you an update. This year, just a couple weeks ago, we had the first annual Supper in the Streets event in downtown Sparks, and it snowed, as you know, and they transferred it into the museum, and it was a very successful event. And what we liked about this event is it pairs local farmers, and you get to meet the local farmers, and with food to table kind of dining. Great Basin made the meal and served it, and we're looking forward to doing this into the future, and not when it snows, I guess. Maybe, I don't know what month that would be.
Maybe August?
August, yeah. Maybe. We are also continuing to support small businesses in the city of Sparks, and through two different means, through blogs and through social media. So if anyone has a small business they would like to promote, get involved with 39 North, and we will put special events and information with regard to your business. Our quarterly meeting this month is going to be at Tesla. So anyone interested in taking a tour of Tesla, get a hold of us. We are going to be sending information out when we have the date and the time. It's going to be a little different than our normal quarterly meetings, but we wanted to do something different. And Tesla is going to have a profound effect on the city of Sparks, so we think that this would be a great way to show a business that is going to affect us. And finally, we are going to have a service club meeting on December 12th at 6 p.m. The location will be determined, and what we want to do is get service clubs together in the city of Sparks to see how we can collaborate. For instance, Riding on the River was last weekend, and they had about 100 people come, which was great, but how do we promote Kiwanis that would put on this event and collaborate and let other service organizations know about this and be able to collaborate? So we think we have some amazing service organizations in the city of Sparks, and we want to be the connector to make that happen. And that is our update.
Thanks, Cam. Lisa.
All right, good afternoon. So I'm Lisa Jansen with 39 North Downtown, and I'm co-chair of the 39 North Pole event. This is the North Pole Village event, which makes me part elf. I like to think I'm a little like Will Ferrell on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe I'm a 7. So, but yeah. But I'm here today to let you know that the new inflatable ordinance that you guys are discussing and that's being proposed will help us with the 39 North Pole Village event. 39 North Pole Village is a holiday light festival that will feature thousands of twinkling lights, holiday shopping booths, great food, family fun, and holiday cheer. The third annual event this year is Thursday, December 7th through Saturday, December 9th in Victorian Square. And so far, we've had 7,000 people shown interest in attending the event on Facebook. So we're seeing a lot of growth. We think it's going to be probably twice as big, if not 3 times as big as it was last year. The first year we had the event, we were on Nugget property, so we could use holiday inflatable decorations. And how we did this was we made sure that they were okay with the fire department inspector and that we had them properly weighted down. As we all know, Nevada weather changes very quickly, so we're always prepared for the worst. They were inspected during the event, and all was well. Everything went great. Then last year, we moved the event to Victorian Square. And at this time, it was half on Nugget property, half on City of Sparks property. We were told we couldn't use inflatable holiday decorations on city property last year. But then we were also told that we misunderstood the regulation and we were reading it wrong, and it was that you couldn't have bounce houses or anything people could ride, which obviously they were not riding our Santa Claus inflatables and that kind of thing. So it was a bit challenging to figure out, what the real deal is here, and we want to make sure we follow the rules. So this new ordinance will help us because it will allow us to go through a permitting process and use inflatables again on city property. Holiday decorations that we need for 39 North Pole Village are very expensive. We've been looking at some like 15-foot tall Santas, fiberglass, and they're about $5,000. Well, we can get a nice inflatable for about $300 that we can fold up and, keep and store year after year. So it's a really good option for us until we can afford to grow the event the other way. Before I leave today, I also want to say thank you for supporting the event with City of Sparks Tourmark funds. You are our biggest sponsor, and we really appreciate that. There are a lot of similar light festivals around the country, but most of them charge an entrance fee. With your support, we're allowed to keep this free for families and for the public, so that's a pretty big deal. We take pride in the fact that our event is free for families and that it is becoming a family holiday tradition here in Sparks. We also appreciate all the help and support we get from Parks and Rec team, and especially the electricians. They literally light up our world that weekend. I know you're here. If you have questions about the event, about inflatables and how we kind of decide where they go and that kind of thing, I'm happy to answer your questions, and I'm always around. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And to the audience, if you're not familiar with 39 North, if you have a business in Sparks, you should get a hold of these folks. They work all year round to promote the city of Sparks and the businesses. It's very good. Okay, Bill Wagner, come on down, Bill. Welcome.
Thank you. Let's make sure I get this correctly here. Mr. Mayor-to-be, City Council. My name is Bill Wagner, and I'm here on case PNC 170032. First of all, I would like to thank John Martini for his invaluable information that he supplied me with. Apparently, the study indicates that the traffic problem is not Los Altos, but it's Vista Boulevard. I personally believe it may be both of them. We have 300 plus homes to still be built on the top of the mountain, dumping more cars on the Palo Alto Parkway, Los Altos Parkway, excuse me. What happens, God forbid, that there is a major earthquake or fire? How do you plan to evacuate the residents? It's a very big concern for me and for the residents. The steepness of the road going up the first roundabout, snow, black ice will cause havoc for those trying to make it home. Particularly cars that are only, 2 wheels, not 4 wheel, could be very dangerous. Lastly, how about pedestrians and children in the walkway, in the parkway? Nothing that I know of has been done to protect them. Those are the important aspects that I'm hoping you folks will consider when the time comes. Thank you all very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Bill.
Again.
Phil, you're killing me. Thank you. Darlene Hesse. Welcome, Darlene.
I'm Darlene Hesse, and good afternoon, everyone. And I hope to heck you guys really can feel it in your heart what we feel about saving Wild Creek Golf Course. It's a beautiful open space. It's a green area that we may lose forever. And not just for all the people, but there's a lot of beautiful animals. There's such a, it's such a wonderful thing to have like a park in our area. And even if it doesn't become a golf course, I hope it would make the most gorgeous park in the whole Reno and Sparks area, and you still have all the animals and all. But another thing, I just want to tell you people, we're not against education, we're not against schools, but we are for intelligent moves. And to build a school on a floodplain, which I think is not in the laws, I don't believe schools can be built there. Even if they put up the higher ground, they're going to have the ball fields and the football fields, and these are going to be flooded. It's going to cost the city of Sparks a terrible lot of money. And I just think that you people consider, and it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me at all to take such a gorgeous property and tear it apart for a school that should be in more in a populated area for kids. We have seniors. You know, it's like they're getting to be the old folks home up there, I'm telling you. But it's just it's a fight that I won't give up, and I just think it's so important to all you people. Just I wish you'd go there early in the morning and look around and say, do I really want to be known for having a part in tearing this beautiful park, this beautiful golf course up, and taking these animals away? I mean, my gosh, it's just, you know, there's so many unhappy things happening in our country right now, in Las Vegas, and like this is kind of menial, but I'm telling you, I just think that there's good old things that you need to stand by and be there. And listen to the people, because this is one thing you will never get that back again. You'll never have that open space, that green space. And Sparks, I was raised in Sparks. I love Sparks. And I just feel as though that's a Sparks area. That's in the city of Sparks. And I think maybe you people could help with that and say, no, you're not going to put a Reno school in Sparks, and it doesn't belong in a floodplain area. Anyway, you know, we're asking for a lot of trouble. We're going to maybe have so much water running down the center of it when they have their ideas of putting buildings on one side, buildings on the other 100-foot ditch, and then it's going to overwhelm all of the underneath the ground. They're not going to be able. It's not going to be able to support this water. It's going to run right over to McCarran, and it's going to run right over to the housing project down below. And I just hope that you just think a lot about it and go and visit it, because it's really so beautiful. It's just one of the finest things that we have here in Sparks to tear apart. I mean, I hope it stays a golf course, but if not, thank you very much.
Thanks, Arlene. Okay, is it Kimma? Kim. Sorry. Okay, that's okay. Kim Tracy, come on up, Kim. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm sorry I don't have anything formally prepared. I got late notice of the meeting. Is this on? Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm here on behalf of Wild Creek too, and I'm here not as a golfer. I don't golf, but I'm hoping that all of you can understand how important it is to us and a lot of us in the community that is preserved as a green space of some sort. If it's not a golf course, as Darlene said, at least a green space. It seems like Sparks promotes parks and recreation and green spaces, but in this case, I think we're dropping the ball. And if you're not interested in the green space, and I just want to put in a little footnote, I've lived all over this country and lived in a lot of different cities, and I grew up in Susanville. One of my least favorite things about Reno is how few green spaces we have. And one of the biggest attractions to most of the other cities that I've lived in is the number of green spaces and parks they have, golf courses, parks, walking parks, whatever. But it's beautiful, and Reno lacks that. And as much as I love this area, it's not the most beautiful city, and I think we need to preserve what beautiful spaces we have. If you're not concerned about the green space, I hope that you'll be concerned about the taxpayers and the people who vote you all into office, and consider how Kathleen made a good point, or somebody made a good point about getting out in the community and asking how many people think that it's a good idea to build on that site. I don't think anybody disagrees that we need schools. We need the schools. We want the schools. We agree with you. The kids deserve nice buildings. But to put it in that location feels negligent at best. I think we're being a little bit railroaded by the Washoe County School District, and while you're taking your poll, you might want to take a poll of how the community feels that the Washoe County School District has done in the past and how they're doing presently. we need to have more due diligence done. And while they promote in the papers and whatnot that they're doing that due diligence and doing the studies, at the Oversight Committee last week, it became fairly apparent that they're not really spending any money on it, doing due diligence in any other location except for Wild Creek, where they've spent $200,000. So this is my question. If it turns out, and I don't pretend to be smarter than the engineers, but if it turns out that that's not a buildable site, does that mean we don't build a school now? Because they haven't done the due diligence. They haven't spent any money on any of the other sites. And we're hoping that you're going to really represent your constituents, the people that put you here to take care of us. We'd like to see you do that. We'd like to see you promote preserving the green space. We want the school built. We agree that the school needs to be built. We just think it can be built better on one of the many open spaces that surround our area. And Darlene made a good point. Why would we put Hug High School in Sparks? Richard J. is his name, said that even the North Valleys are going to send kids here at some point if there's more building going on at Stead. I don't understand that, honestly. There's tons of space around Sun Valley where a bunch of the kids will be coming from, and there's space out in the North Valleys. There's space out in Spanish Springs. Why would we destroy a multi-million-dollar asset to put in a school when we can put it somewhere else? We need more due diligence done by the school board, and we're hoping that you're going to help us get that done. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Anybody else in the audience wishing to speak at this time? Okay, seeing none, public comment and bring it back to the council. 5.1, approve the agenda. Anybody want to pull anything, change it around? Looking for a motion? Mr. Lawson?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
We have a motion. Mr. Dare?
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Okay, 6.1, consideration and possible approval of the minutes of the regular Sparks City Council meeting of September 25th, 2017. Anybody want to change anything? Okay, looking for a motion. Mr. Lawson.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Ms. Bybee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Okay, we're going to move on to announcements, presentations, recognition items, and special items of interest. Now, they're really going to test me today with this stuff. So the first proclamation is for the bicentenary of the birth of Baha'u'llah. Come on down, ladies.
Really? You got that right?
Well, it only took them a half hour, and I'd wait till, there's plenty of those little things in here. Stand right behind the chairs there, and a couple of you can see. No, right on the other side there. I don't want you tripping.
Okay,
No tripping.
don't trip. We can stand.
Come on down. Mike, come on down. So if I mess this up a little, bear with me, okay? Whereas the local spiritual assembly of the Baha'is of Sparks, Nevada, was established in 1965. Whereas a crying need of humanity is the achievement of unity, peace, and justice in our neighborhoods, townships, and communities worldwide. And whereas in the 19th century, Baha'u'llah, the founder of Baha'i faith, brought a message of human dignity, renewed capacity, and proclaimed oneness suited to the requirements of contemporary life. And October 22nd, 2017 marks the 200th anniversary of the birth of Baha'u'llah. And whereas since 1965, the Baha'i community of Sparks has striven to apply this vision to the material and spiritual life in the community of Sparks, collaborating with people of diverse racial, cultural, and religious backgrounds to promote unity and serve the community. And whereas the Baha'is of Sparks and their families, friends, and neighbors and colleagues are commemorating the bicentenary along with Baha'is across the United States and around the world. Now, therefore, Gino R. Martini, Mayor, do hereby proclaim, you messed that line up. I got the other ones right. Now, therefore, Mayor Gino Martini do hereby proclaim Sunday, October the 22nd, 2017, as the bicentenary of the birth of the Baha'u'llah in the city of Sparks, and urge all to resolve on this day to promote in themselves and in their relations and with others those attributes that will help to promote the recognition of the oneness of humanity and peace, to embrace diversity, and to work for unity in the Sparks community, in our revered country and in the world. That would be it.
Thank you.
Would any of you like to speak? Go ahead and have a seat at the microphone. You can all speak if you like.
Well, we just want to say thank you. We're honored to be here. And we represent a small group of the Baha'is of Northern Nevada. And Baha'is are striving everywhere to build vibrant communities. We're doing it with our neighbors, our co-workers, our friends, just trying to come and learn to serve the community together, to learn to grow spiritually together. And so we do have a few things. We like to give a gift in a song.
Okay, I
That's
see you're going to sing
something.
a song.
And Audrey, who is one of the members of our local spiritual assembly here in Sparks, is going to pass out invitations to each one of you to our event. This is an auspicious occasion. It's very exciting. It's happening all over the world. And we here in Sparks are participating by offering a gift to the community to come and celebrate with us and discover new friends and family in humanity.
Does anybody else want to say something?
Can I video them?
Absolutely.
We're actually gonna
We've got
stand-
somebody that can do it for you if you'd like to be in the video.
We're actually going to stand over here.
Oh, there
so
she is.
It'll be easier for
Okay.
Have our backs.
We're going to sing this way. It's better because we don't see our audiences.
These guys are great.
And like my sister said, we believe in building vibrant communities, and we want to introduce our family to you. We are the McPhersons. This is my mother, Fedora, my sisters, Andrina, my brother-in-law, Michael, and my name is Roxana. And again, building vibrant communities starts with a simple act, a smile.
No singing for you, huh?
Give me a smile with everything on it. I'll pass it on. Give me a song that's worth singing. I promise I'll pass it along. Well, the world needs of it when it's tired and weary. Love as light, and that's the way it should be. Come on, everybody, put a little love in your life. Give me a smile with everything on it. I'll pass it on. Give me a song that's worth singing. I promise I'll pass it along. Well, the world needs a lift when it's tired and so weary. Come on, everybody, put a little love in your life.
All are welcome to the table of humanity. Paula has written, if you desire with all your heart the friendship of every race on earth, your thoughts, spiritual and positive, will spread. It will become the desire of every other. And grow and grow until it reaches the minds of all.
Give me a smile with everything on it. I'll pass it on. Give me a song that's worth singing. I promise I'll pass it along. Well, the world needs a lift when it's tired and so weary. Come on, everybody, put a little love in your life. Come on, everybody, put a little love in your life. I request singing at every council meeting.
I think singing, and I want the drums. Yes, and then I want drums. I want the drum.
You really want?
I want the drum guys that were at the drum. It's like settling. It's like,
Hey, Doug, that's a hell of an act to follow. Edon can't be that excited.
Those were Shinto drums. Those were Japanese ones. So those are drums, yeah.
Thank you. Good job, you guys.
Yeah, very good. Love those guys. Okay, come, hey.
Get this meeting over with.
Christopher.
I told you to get.
What are we doing?
They're gonna just stand behind it and they want to sign the proclamation so they can. Come on back here.
Oh.
Yeah, come on back.
It's such a significant.
We'll just do this for you here and I'll give you the copy of this. Okay? And I'm gonna sign my name and I'll put 4GRM, which is Gino Martinez. He's the mayor. I feel like the president signing a proclamation.
Beautiful smile.
Okay, you ready?
Mr. Dare, yes, I can't see you there. Can you get Can you get everybody in? I think so.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you.
so
Did you
very
want
much.
both of these?
Thank
Did
you
you want me to
so
sign
much.
both of these?
So much. That was just so
I got two of them.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll give you all of this stuff. And thank you, you guys are great.
Take care.
Thank you, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Thank you. Nice meeting you. Thank you. Good job. Holy mackerel.
Can
That's
I say something real quick?
You're in deep trouble now.
Miss
everyone.
Biden.
Before you all, I just want to thank you for just a really nice break in our council meetings and taking that we were just saying, that's what I was just saying, we need music every week, but I think especially this week when it's been such a hard time with Vegas, with a couple of our prominent local people that passed away this past week. Thank you.
Thank you, anytime. You can come sing for us anytime you'd like. Okay, our next item, and I swear I'll do better on this one than I did in the last one, but it's Good Neighbor Day. Who's here? Come on down. Both of you or just,
Well, she's my photographer.
okay, well, you need to be down here to take pictures, don't you?
Yes. I can't believe I have to go after that, but okay.
Do you have a song prepared?
Singing?
No, I don't. Shoot.
Well, we'll make this quick.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, whereas actions are needed to promote neighborly spirit in our community, and whereas Sparks Florist Incorporated wants to help restore community unity and neighborly hospitality, and whereas Sparks Florist wants to again celebrate a day in which all citizens are requested to be good neighbors, and whereas in honor of Good Neighbor Day, on October the 18th, 2017, Sparks Florist will give away 1,500 dozen roses absolutely free, and they do this every year. Whereas the only condition imposed on the individual receiving a dozen roses is that they keep one rose for themselves and give the other 11 roses away to neighbors, co-workers, and or strangers as a gesture of neighborly goodwill. Great. That's great. And now therefore, Gino R. Martini, Mayor of the City of Sparks, Nevada, do hereby proclaim October the 18th, 2017 as Good Neighbor Day. And in and for the City of Sparks, and encourage all citizens to participate in this exchange of appreciation to our fellow citizens. In witness thereof, I have undo set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Sparks, Nevada, to be affixed to this 25th day of September. So he did it real dirty. Thank you very much.
Well, we actually started doing this in 1995 and did it all the way in 2008. We hit the recession. Things got a little tough. We haven't been able to do it for quite some time. We have decided this year, especially with everything that is going on, we thought would be a nice time to bring it back. So we're very excited to do that. And we very much appreciate the City of Sparks helping us by proclaiming it as Good Neighbor Day, and appreciate those of you who said you would come down and hand out the roses. We appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. DeHere. So any of you are invited to do that. It's a lot of fun, and really it just kind of makes everybody have a good day, and I think we could all use one lately.
Yes, absolutely. Good stuff. How long have they been in business, Sparks?
Since 1960.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
What a great company for
Yeah,
us.
very great company, and we thank you guys very much.
Let me give you this.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You bet.
You going down to hand out roses?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Colorado.
Thank you. Okay. Edon, come on down. It's Edon's entrepreneurial development.
Good
presentation.
afternoon. Let's get this
Does he
going.
sing?
You sing.
Come on.
Oh, I was going to sing the startup song. I don't think you want me to sing the startup song.
I do, yeah.
You like rap music?
Because we're council meetings going. Okay. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're on.
Okay. I'm Doug Irwin. I'm the Senior Vice President of Entrepreneurial Development from Edon. Distinguished council members, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about the most mysterious leg of economic development, the entrepreneurial leg. And I'm sure many of you have seen this in many of Mike's presentations, but really going to focus on what our team does today and hopefully have you walk away with a little bit better understanding of what entrepreneurial development is and why it's important to our region. So first, let's start, why entrepreneurial development? Well, if you know anything about the Kauffman Foundation, they're the largest foundation supporting entrepreneurship. They show that entrepreneurs are really the engines of economic growth and that all startups really create all new net jobs in the economy. And so our mission at Edon, and my team in particular, is to support entrepreneurs through every step of their journey. And it's really built upon our 5 core values, which is putting the entrepreneur first, really raising the bar from the community. Our role is to be of service to the community and the entrepreneurs, to really make an impact every day, and to be stewards of that entrepreneurial culture. And hopefully throughout this, you'll understand that'll all bring that together. But let's dive into this real quick. If you look at the nation as a whole, really job creation has been fueled by new companies. So companies under the age of 5 years of age generate most of the new net jobs. But there's been a real challenge, a real trend that's been happening over the past 20 years, which we've culminated into one of the lowest levels of startup density in the country's history. And that's a real problem. And it's not just a problem locally, this is a problem nationally, and you're seeing lots of organizations like ours trying to tackle this problem. If you kind of look at that a little further, and maybe this isn't conclusive, but a lot of the challenges that we're faced with right now, jobs deficit, productivity problems, stagnant wages, and inequality are linked back to this decline of entrepreneurship. I'm sure it's obviously a complex issue, but there's some recent study that links those two things together. So more locally, we have developed a strategy to sort of combat that trend and help entrepreneurs flourish in our community. And we really have a 5-point strategy. First, that's to communicate the benefits of being an entrepreneur in our region. And that's many things to many people, but that's really our, to be the microphone for that. To engage the entrepreneurs in our community to lead programs. Although we do lead some initiatives, really our goal is to get the people to roll up their sleeves and run programs, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Because of our unique role, we can connect up large business to entrepreneurs and everything in between. And so one of our major roles is as a connector, so connecting up capital, first customers, those types of things. And then it's really important to showcase the wins of the entrepreneurs. So the companies that raise capital or have a big success, we like to showcase those people to create role models for other aspiring entrepreneurs. And we just added a new one to our list, which is more, you kind of think of it as a traditional economic development activity, which is attraction. But what we found now is that our entrepreneurial ecosystem is at a place where we're really ready to bring on some smaller companies that are more well-established outside the region into the region. So really the goal is to raise the overall ecosystem by bringing in some of those smaller, earlier stage companies. So to give you some example of the types of programs that we support, you may or may not be familiar with them, and I won't go through all of them in detail, but things like Summit VMS, which is a program we brought in from MIT, that's a team-based mentor program. We have over 20 local ventures and 65 community members as mentors. We run a program called Startup Weekend, which is like if you ever wanted to know about entrepreneurship, it's a 56-hour experience in entrepreneurship. You start on Friday, you meet with the team, and by the end of the week, you have talked to hundreds of customers, and you have an outline for a business plan that you can go out there and pitch investors. Has anybody been to 1 Million Cups? That's a weekly program at Swill Coffee, where 2 startups present their ideas to a community of about 40 or 50 people looking for that support. And a program called Udacity, which is doing tech retraining primarily to support kind of high-growth, high-technology companies. So these are just a handful of the programs that we either directly support through our own team's effort or through financial support or other support. We also run a number of different initiatives. I left with you, or I've given you all a startup deck. Inside that startup deck are 54 cards, I think 56 cards. It's an actual plain deck. You can play solitaire if it gets boring. But it has the vast majority of startup resources for the community. Everything from the contact information for Rod Jorgensen at the Small Business Development Center to a mailing list you can get on. All the different programs are there, and we use this both as an attraction tool and as a tool to help integrate people into the community. So if someone's new to the community, needs to figure out how to get plugged in, we sit down with the startup deck and take the top 5 cards that are relevant to them. They're all important, but we kind of give them to them and send them on their way. We also created a collaboration coin, which gets you a free cup of coffee or a beer at a number of different establishments around the community, provided that you take somebody else out for coffee. And this is really about our mission of sort of being stewards of culture. We're running the Startup Fair, which I'd all invite you to participate in. It's this coming Wednesday at Greater Nevada Field at 5:30. There'll be about 30 startups and about 400 people, a lot of interns, job seekers, but it's really an event to try and place interns and get people working in the startup community. So just to give you a couple examples of some of the companies that we've helped, that both we've attracted to the community and that we've organically grown. So on the organic side, how many people have had a Tahoe Trail Bar? They've seen dramatic growth this year. They'll probably go 10x what they've done in the past few years. Companies like Trainer Road, Hide It Mounts, Peep No More, all have come through one version of our program or another. And then companies like Bombora, which is started one person here, is now on track to grow, hire 60 people this year. Companies like Capstack and Flirty, a lot of new technology jobs that are really allowing our students and our folks from having to leave our community to go to the Bay Area to have jobs here. So really adding another level of diversification to our economy. And those attracted companies have sort of disproportionately moved things in a positive direction for the community. To give you an idea of how we measure what we're doing, it's not all feel good stuff. There's actually some data here, which is good. We track job creation, so we've seen steady job creation over our program. But it's unlike the attraction effort. We don't look at 5 years. We count geeks and seats. We actually go around and say, okay, these are the people that actually have jobs. This is a true measure. And then we look at how many companies we've started, and then we keep track of the total fundraising in the community. And this one in particular is very interesting because we're tracking along at a couple, $3-5 million in venture capital. In the last year, we had over $35 million in venture capital, and that actually came from 2 companies, one local and one relocated. So it's good, and I think that's the most interesting measure because historically our community has grown good companies to a certain size, but they've been forced to move to the Bay Area or Austin to raise capital. The markets are changing, and now these companies are able to grow here. And once they raise that capital is when they really start to hire and grow. So I just wanted to give you a quick brief update, say thank you very much for your support of our team. My whole team's with us today, and answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Any questions or comments?
I do.
Mr. Dare.
One of the things that how can we as a city get a little more involved? Do you have any ideas? Because I know we go over to Reno and I hear some of the things there. And talking to Mike, I know, and maybe it's a conversation we can have at another time. Maybe that's not a full conversation for now. But something I'm very interested, maybe something you can think about. This is neat, but it's one of those things in Sparks we want to see this as well.
Yeah, I mean, the real quick answer to that is the best thing to do is to start hosting events. 39 North would be a great place to host events. That's, gatherings are a great place for people to get together and understand about entrepreneurship. Maybe we could run a startup weekend. I mean, from our perspective, entrepreneurship has no bounds. I mean, we'll help entrepreneurs because our first goal is entrepreneur first. You could be in Truckee, you could be in South Lake. It doesn't matter to us because we're all entrepreneurs or former entrepreneurs. So we really think about this as a regional approach. So whatever we can do to help, but I think events are a really good way. Or if there are co-working spaces or other types of spaces that sort of entrepreneurs naturally gravitate towards, that could be another way. But we can talk more about that.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Mr. Lawson.
Doug, I want to congratulate you. I remember when you started, and it was a hope and a prayer, and you've turned in some big results now. 35 million.
It's huge.
Impressive, dude. Starting from zero.
Thank you.
I mean, that's impressive what you guys have done, and I'm very proud of you guys, and especially you for going the line. I know it hasn't been easy, but man, oh man, what great results.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you very much. It's mostly the hard work of the entrepreneurs, honestly. But we help put all those pieces together, so it's been an exciting ride, and I think, honestly, the best days for our community are yet to come. I mean, just looking at the trends of kind of the flight of talent out of the big cities, especially the Bay Area, I think we're naturally poised to benefit from that, and that will really help our entrepreneurial, because we have
Don't
great
leave that
entrepreneurs.
off too much. A lot of that has to do with you, is pointing out what a great area we have here to do business in, and you've done a great job.
Thank you, I appreciate that very much.
Doug, and thank you. EDON across the board is doing a great job for us. That's why we support you so much. And even when you turn to maintaining the businesses we have and telling them how important they are. So thanks for all your efforts and your staff. Thanks for coming down today. Thank you. Okay. Okay, moving on, now you're going to experience the lightning round. We have 3 council members that have to leave pretty soon, so we're going to go through this agenda quickly.
Flight is an hour late.
Okay, we're good. Okay, all right.
Oh, you guys are going to Mesquite.
They're going to Mesquite. The flight's been delayed
Flight's
an
an
hour.
hour late.
Okay, consent items. Anybody want to pull a consent item? If not, looking for a motion. Mr. Lawson?
Move to approve consent items 8.1 through 8.4.
Mr. Abbott?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Okay, general business, consideration and possible approval to purchase one fire pumper, not a bumper.
That's an expensive bumper.
It's pretty small. There, now I got it bigger.
Get whatever you want.
One fire pumper from Graham Fire Apparatus Rosenbauer.
$622,000 bumper.
I know, it's a bumper. They use it at the bowling alley.
Does that go with our $12 million hammer?
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, Ron Corman, your Public Works Manager. Today I'm before you to request permission to spend $622,285 to replace one fire pumper for the fire department. This makes the 5th in the series of fire pumpers that we've replaced, and this will culminate the ending of phase 1 of our fire apparatus replacement program that we introduced about 5 years ago. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Mr. Lawson?
I just want to point out for the public to let them know, we pay cash for these things now. We made a change back in 2011, quit leasing all of our trucks and paying all this big money. And now we save up our money and we pay cash. And it's a great program, and I'm quite proud of that. And the city of Sparks is not going in debt to replace our vehicles. It's awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. That was a big decision back then, too, because we leased forever. Yeah. Okay. Comments? Questions? Looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
I move to approve the purchase of one fire pumper from Graham Fire Apparatus Rosenbauer in the amount of $622,285.
Mr. Lawson.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Get your new fire truck, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you.
9.2, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the Phase 8 Final Development Handbook for Kylie Ranch North. Karen, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
And just one second. Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Temp Smith, and council. I'm Karen Malby, Development Service Manager. Before you today is a request to approve the final handbook for Phase 8 of the Kylie Development Handbook. It's approximately 34 acres. You can see here on the vicinity map, it's outlined in cyan. It's between David Allen Parkway, Windmill Farms, and the future extension of Kylie Parkway. The proposed amendment to Phase 8 handbook covers 33.87, approximately 34 acres, I'm sorry. The Phase 8 handbook establishes the development standards for business park, multifamily, single family, which is allowed in the multifamily district, and open space. It also applies to an overlay district for the school, which potentially build an elementary and middle school in villages 17 and 18. 17 and 18, you can see here are a crosshatch, which indicates that that was the overlay for the school. Both the Sparks Municipal Code and the Nevada Revised Statutes specifies that the review process for the final handbook must comply with 5 criteria. Staff has reviewed the handbook against the tentative handbook for the Kylie Ranch North Plan Development and finds that Phase 8 is in compliance. To briefly go through the 5 criteria, the handbook does not, proposed handbook before you today does not vary the proposed gross residential density or intensity from the Kylie Ranch North Plan Development tentative handbook. The medium high density MHR designation has a maximum density of 17.9 units per acre for the single family or multifamily housing. The Phase 8 handbook does not propose any changes to that. Second, it does not vary the proposed ratio of residential to non-residential. The Phase 8 handbook has 14.71 acres of business park and 19.16 acres of multifamily. These are the same acreages that are proposed in this Phase 8 handbook. Third, it does not reduce the common open space, which has 1.13 acres, which is this area along David Allen. Fourth, there is no increase in the floor area proposed for non-residential use from the approved tentative handbook. This handbook does not propose an increase in the floor area of the non-residential uses in either village. Fifth and last, there is no increase in the total ground area covered by the building, nor is there substantial change in the height of the buildings. Based on these 5 substantial compliance criteria, as listed in this Sparks Municipal Code and the NRS, Planning Commission and City staff believe that the final handbook is in substantial compliance with the tentative handbook approved, and therefore recommends approval of the Phase 8 handbook. That concludes my presentation. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions or comments for Karen? Mr. Dare.
Yeah, this is my ward. I got to meet with Scott Christie even today, and I just want to tell you, this is to the whole staff. We meet developers. They are very pleased with working with all of you. They have very wonderful things to say, and I think he wanted me to make sure I tell you that. So
thank you.
I just want you to know he really just wonderful working forward. And with that said, I move to approve the Kylie Ranch North Phase 8 Plan Development Handbook as it is in substantial compliance with the tentative Kylie Ranch North Plan Development Handbook based on the facts supporting these findings as set forth in the staff report.
Ms. Bybee.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
I had it. It's one of those
Passes
took
unanimously.
3.
Thanks, Karen. Okay, 9.3, consideration possible approval of amendment number 1 to the parking agreement AC-5307 and SRA-AC-315 between the Sparks Redevelopment Agency and the City of Sparks and Sayufi Enterprises. Armando.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith and members of the City Council, I'm Armando Ornelas, the Assistant Community Services Director. And if it is your pleasure, I can present now on both item 9.3 and item 9.4. They would need to be considered and voted on separately, but
okay.
Because the root issue is the same. Okay. As you're aware, Sayufi Enterprises owns the Victorian Square Movie Theater property. Sayufi is leasing the property to Galaxy Theaters, which has experienced delays in the renovations to the theater that will cause its reopening to occur after the December 31, 2017 deadline set in both this agreement, the parking agreement, as well as the financial incentive agreement. Sayufi Enterprises and Galaxy have therefore requested 9-month extensions, and that would be from the end of this calendar year to September 30th, 2018, of the deadlines for completing renovations to and reopening the theater. In addition, Sayufi has requested that the parking agreement be amended to permit Sayufi and Galaxy, at their expense, to install a direct entrance between the theater and the adjoining city parking structure to facilitate access for their patrons. And then with regard to the financial incentive agreement, Sayufi has asked that the amendment be changed to reduce the minimum number of required auditoriums to satisfy the conditions for the payments from the city from 14 auditoriums to 13. So staff is recommending approval of the amendments to both agreements, and that concludes my presentation.
Okay, let's take 9.3 first. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, looking for a motion? Mr. Abbott.
I move to approve amendment number 1 to the parking agreement between the Sparks Redevelopment Agency, the City of Sparks, and Sayufi Enterprises.
Ms. Bybee.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Okay, 9.4. Any questions, comments for 9.4? Okay, looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott?
Back to back. I move to approve the amendment number 1 to the financial incentive agreement with Sayufi Enterprises.
Ms. Bybee?
I'll second that one.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. That passes unanimously. Thanks, Armando.
Thank you.
Okay, 9.5. Consideration of possible approval of the MOU AC-5414 between the Washoe County Sheriff's Office and the City of Sparks to provide full-time inmate labor to augment public works maintenance, not to exceed $62,855.52 for fiscal year 2018. Ron.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. Ron Corman, your Public Works Manager. I am here today to reintroduce a item that was brought before you on May 22nd of this year on this agreement between Washoe County Sheriff's Office and the City of Sparks for them to provide inmate labor. After it was approved by this body, it went to back to the county, and the county attorneys caught something in there, and so they changed some language. They added a section regarding liability issues and who would be responsible into the agreement. This agreement has been reviewed by our attorney's office and has since been approved by the county commission. And so we're just looking for you folks to approve it again, and then we can move forward.
Okay, any comments or questions? Ms. Bybee.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay.
I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Washoe County Sheriff's Office and the City of Sparks to provide full-time inmate labor to augment public works maintenance in an amount not to exceed $62,855.52 for fiscal year 2018.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Or Mr. Dare.
I have a quick question.
Okay, sure.
I just wanted to know, when it comes to here, what do they do when they can't be pulling weeds? Because this obviously it's full-time through, all the way through. Do you just have them do other, I mean, I know that they do weed patrol. That's one of the main things it seems we hire them for. But when the snow hits the ground and things like that.
We have no shortage of work around the city that we can assign them to.
Okay, you just keep them all the kind of stuff we talked about. So they just do whatever's needed at that point.
Buildings and grounds, you name it.
Yeah.
I have.
Cracks in my street? Weeds. Sorry, Amber, I don't know where you're at. But.
I figured. I just wanted to make sure what we were thinking of.
We have no shortage.
So did somebody else second, or do you?
Nope.
Oh, I second that.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? And this is a great program for us.
Yes.
I'm glad they finally put it together.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no more questions or
I
comments.
just had a comment.
Okay.
This is like one of the best things ever. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the decision that we made, but you working with the inmates, because the difference in the amount of complaints we got this summer, what the city looked like, every corner of the city, tremendous difference. And I think this is just a win-win for everybody. So thank you so much.
Okay, any other comments? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
You only get a vote once.
Okay, agenda item 9.6 is the first reading. City Clerk to read the bill by title.
Bill number 2726, an ordinance amending Chapter 9.34 of the Sparks Municipal Code prohibiting inflatables during special events without a permit and providing other matters properly related thereto.
Okay, this is the first reading for bill number 2726. The public hearing and second reading of this bill will be conducted at the regular city council meeting on Monday, October the 23rd, 2017. 9.7, first reading of bill number 2727. Madam Clerk.
Bill number 2727, an ordinance amending Chapter 12.24 of the Sparks Municipal Code providing principal park rules and providing other matters properly related thereto.
This is the first reading for bill number 2727. The public hearing and second reading of this bill will be conducted at the regular city council meeting on Monday, October the 23rd, 2017. Thank you. Number 10, we don't have any public hearing items, no planning and zoning, so we'll move on to public comment. Public, anybody in the audience wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll bring it back. Comments from city council or city manager, Mr. Driscoll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I have a couple of announcements. First, the following committee appointments available. Civil Service Commission, 1 member for 1 partial term that will end June 30th of 2019. And then also I have one for, due to a resignation on the Planning Commission, we're looking for an appointee to run a term through December 31st of 2020. The employee is eligible for reappointment after that point. So persons interested in either one of these 2 City of Sparks positions, if they're interested in serving on the committee, they can complete a community service application available from the city clerk's office. You may also apply online on the city's website, www.cityofsparks.us. You would click on government on the web page, and then at boards and commissions, you click on volunteering for the Sparks Board and Commission, and then you fill out the online application and submit. Both of these applications will be accepted, both these positions will have applications accepted until the close of business on Friday, October 13th at 4 p.m. Additionally, one that's not a City of Sparks position is Washoe County is looking for someone to serve on the Animal Control Board. This board hears kennel, cattery, and exotic animal permits, and will have an opening on December 7th of this year. That'll be due to an expiration of a term. While the person that currently sits on the board would be eligible for reappointment, the Animal Services is hoping that they will have other people apply, and so they are conducting a regular recruitment. There is on the boards and commissions page of Washoe County, there is a line item for people that might be interested in this animal control position, and they can apply there by following the directions. The one thing that they're looking for is that this opening is for a person who owns or has previously owned an exotic animal and has experience with care and supervision of exotic animals. And the deadline for this application will be at noon on Friday the 3rd. And so if they have any questions, they can go to the Washoe County website and they can follow that through. That is all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from City Council? Mr. Dare.
I just want to say I got to go to an evening in Blue just the other night, and I want to say our Sparks Police Department, we had a great showing there, which actually was pretty wonderful. But it's something you guys might want to even know about next year. I don't know if you knew fully what they've done. It's only their 2nd year, but it is, they raise money, and it's a fun event, and it really raises money for those officers who have, for the families who've lost an officer. And so it was an awesome time. I want to thank you, Chief, and let you know that your people represented us well. Thank you.
Any other comments?
One more.
Ms. Bybee?
I would just like to encourage people. We've got Pumpkin Police coming up. in October. So that's a call out to staff. And I don't know if the council wants to do something to race this year together, but I did it last year, and it was my first year, and it was an amazing event. The weather was spectacular. The crowd there was just lots and lots of families. It's exactly what Sparks is about. What downtown Victoria is going to see, the crowds and the activity is just a really fun event, and I would encourage everyone to attend, to bring kids and grandkids, and for city staff to get their pumpkins ready to race. And maybe I'll put a challenge out to the council, and maybe a couple of us will race against each other. I don't know.
You're going down.
I'll second that.
When's the date? Did I miss the date?
October 21st, Sunday.
That's a Saturday. No,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
22nd is Sunday.
Yeah, we need those reminders. Anybody else, any other comments? You know, for me, I just want to mention the thing about the Las Vegas event. I think everybody in this room may know somebody that's been affected. I know the city of Henderson had their city clerk was shot in the leg. Is that right, Teresa? And her name?
Sabrina.
Sabrina. She had her surgery and had to go back because there was some more shrapnel in her leg. So this could happen anywhere, so we need to, you know, Chief, you guys do a great job. Feel safe at our events, but you never know what can happen, so stay vigilant. Mr. Lawson.
You know, along those lines, I want to thank the chief. I mean, we were way out in front of this. It's nice to look up on our rooftops in our events downtown and see our police up there with their sniper rifles and spotting and all that. And that is a very good feeling to know you guys are watching over all of us and all of our citizens.
And it's a different world out there. You know that more than anybody. So,
fortunately.
Yeah. Mr. Dare?
And just one final announcement for me, this is for public. Anybody interested in being a part of the Nevada Veterans Memorial Dinner? We do this every year. This is our third dinner, and we're very excited about it. Our memorial is going to be built right down in Sparks, but the dinner is on November 2nd, and it is at the Peppermill, and you can get tickets and everything and be a part of that. But this is going to honor almost 900 names from the state of Nevada who've given their life in the line of duty as a military occupant. So we're very excited to have that dinner, and you're welcome to come. We'd love it to have businesses, but also individuals and our citizens there. Thank you.
Give them the website.
NevadaVeteransMemorial.org. NevadaVeteransMemorial.org. Thank you.
And actually, our guest speaker this year is a Medal of Honor recipient, so come out and honor him. I can't wait for him to speak. His name is Staff Sergeant Ty M. Carter. So if you can make it, we'd love to have you there. Any other questions or comments? Okay, without objection? Thank you.